So here's the thing. Haunter is awesome. I have this random one that just happened to be rank 60 that I love using in Go Battle League because when you get those shadow balls off and they don't shield them, it is amazing. It is amazing. But the thing is, everybody else has figured that out too. And earlier on today, I played a set, and out of the 2 sets, and out of the 10 battles, I'm pretty sure I saw 8 or 9 Haunter. And it kind of just got to be a lot. I got kind of sick of it. My team that I was running was Azumarill, Haunter, and Registeel, and it's not particularly well equipped to handle another Haunter. So I decided that I was going to do something about that, and I was going to come up with a team that would be, I don't know, just have something that's a bit harder counter to Haunter, because it's so trendy these days, as it should be, because it's awesome. I want to make that clear. Haunter is awesome, but I wanted to work around that a little bit. So on Twitter, I posted my frustration about, I think I went 5-5 earlier against all those Haunter teams. Decided, you know what, I'm going to make an Umbreon now, and I'm going to make some cool lineup that works with it. Chris Hart, or the Mr. Valor, and DRSP helped me out, and we decided on the cool lineup would be Deoxys, Umbreon, and then a Mudboy. I decided to go with Whiscash just because I like its tankiness, but I think something else could work. The idea being that basically it's Deoxys and then 2 Haunter counters in the back that are fairly versatile, and specifically going with ground type to also be able to handle Registeel a little bit better, looking at like the whole meta as a whole. So now I'm going to just kind of go through some of the games that followed. I ended up going 9-1 in these 10 battles, which was pretty exciting. I make a lot of mistakes, and in the very last game, the mistake actually ended up turning into a loss. But you know what? I still think it's interesting enough. So this one you can see had started with Melmetal against my Deoxys. They switched to Sableye, and I switched to Umbreon, which is like quite nice because I know that my Whiscash will be able to help out against Melmetal eventually. And Umbreon versus Sableye is pretty nice. And the idea here too is that I'm getting Umbreon away from the Melmetal, so I can't get hit by a superpower before Umbreon's done its job. Seeing this Meganium here now, I am quite happy. I can avoid the Whiscash, or avoid getting it lined up against the Whiscash, just the way that things are. I shielded this because I just couldn't afford to have Deoxys lose too much health here, and I'm glad I did, because that Earthquake was basically a lot of lost energy on their part and a lot of saved HP on mine, so it worked out. Yeah, you can see those Frenzy plants actually do a lot of damage. Here I'm just farming down with counters, and I know that it's going to be Melmetal coming out, so I'm just hitting that Thunderbolt right away. He still has a shield. Here I was just really hoping I could get to another Thunderbolt, but I didn't. That's okay. I'm not going to shield this because I know I have Whiscash, and I'll be able to hit a bunch of Mud Bombs before he really knows what's coming. And actually, like, he doesn't really need to. Like, if he shielded it, the game would be over pretty quick. So here he doesn't shield. So that's the first one, and I was like, okay, cool. I didn't run into a Haunter, but I still did okay with this team, so maybe it's got some real viability. Also, I should note that these battles are actually my first time ever? Yeah, first time ever using Umbreon in PvP, so I get the hype. It's tanky. I love it. It's fun. I can definitely appreciate it. I'm glad I finally built one, finally. And I'm excited to make more teams with it. You know, this switch is beautiful for me. Very similar to that last game in that this matchup is nice for me, and then my Whiscash in the back can handle their lead, which is that Registeel, pretty well, and my Umbreon gets to avoid the Focus Blast, so it's pretty win-win. Me not shielding these charge moves from you, I guess, was a little risky because I really have no idea what's coming. But I made it work. Doing some of those last resorts. Now, I guess one thing about Umbreon, of course, is that it's tanky but doesn't hit hard. But when it's got a good matchup, it seems to be quite good. So here I shield this just because I need my Deoxys to be in the game a little bit longer. I go for the Thunderbolt. Get to burn a shield, and I'm really hoping I can get to another Thunderbolt, but it doesn't look like it. But I at least can do a Rock Slide, so I shield that, and then it doesn't look like it. And oh, here I was like, oh no, this definitely like lost me the game. This sucks. I just wasted a shield. He still has a shield, or she still has a shield, or at least, okay, female avatar still has a shield. I should just get in the habit of always using they. They still have a shield. I've got a Whiscash and a Big Dreams. That's it. I don't have very much HP right now, so it's not looking great. Oof. Here I have to go for this med bomb. Basically, I don't have the HP to survive. But this Registeel doesn't have fast move that does a lot of damage, as we all know. So I managed to survive with, I think, probably like 1 HP there. So that was a pretty close game. That's when yeah. Oh, that one, I think, obviously if I hadn't stupidly spent that shield, like I should have known the counter, like whatever. I shouldn't have spent that shield, then it would have been a comfortable win, but I'm glad I still got that win anyways. Here I didn't switch out of Shiftry and Deoxys just because I knew I'd be shielding and counters did something. And thankfully it worked out pretty nicely for me because then he switched to Hypno. Hypno's confusions aren't doing anything. Hypno does get a huge variety of charge moves. I know for sure it gets Focus Blast. I did a 1v1 raid against it when it had Focus Blast, so I definitely remember that one. But I'm still just not shielding any of these charge moves just because, I don't know, I'm feeling a little cheeky further down there. And then I'm ready to hit basically like a last resort if it's Shiftry again. And here it's Azumarill, so I'm also doing the last resort. The Mr. Valor mentioned that if I had trouble with Azumarill with this lineup, it might be a good idea to try Swampert with Sludge Wave. And I like that idea, so maybe I'll try that out in the future, especially if Azumarill does become a problem. Yeah, that Shiftry couldn't really handle that Rock Slide. Now I've got my Thunderbolt here, and it's GG. So here, at this point, I'm feeling pretty great about this lineup, and I'm excited to keep going. I don't know if anybody else does this, but so at this point I won 3 games out of my set of 5. And it always feels like such a relief, because I'm like, okay, I won 3, that's like a winning set, I'll probably move up. Here we have another Melmetal lead, and now finally we get the Haunter showing up. Finally. My Umbreon really gets a shine. See how little it takes from the Shadow Punch? That's what I needed. Oh. Yeah, like, I love using Haunter, but getting totally stomped by one, it turns out, doesn't feel great. So, I'm glad that my Vendetta still led me to putting together an okay team. He just lets that, Haunter die, which is probably, I mean, it kind of sucks. But I think he had no choice there just because he switched locks. Like, that Haunter wasn't going to be doing anything. There, I guess it was kind of risky for me to just let my Umbreon go, but I think it ultimately made sense. Here, this Whiscash against Mew isn't ideal. He's also still got 2 shields, but my Mud Bombs are coming out pretty quick. I switched to Deoxys just so I can save Whiscash for later for hitting some Mud Bombs against the Melmetal. I was surprised to see him shield, or was I? Yeah, no, I think that was actually the right move. I take that back. Ugh. I get stuck, you know what, I think those counters, I get caught sometimes, like, not realizing how many I'm going to need to do, or how long that animation is, and all that kind of thing. I mess up with Deoxys counter for some games, so I'm going to have to try to keep an eye on that. And that kind of comes up later on in the game when I lose. So, although that one, it's also just a different mistake. Whatever. You'll see. It's not that interesting. It's just frustrating. Lantern lead. This is not something I've actually seen too much of. I love Lantern. I'm sad to not be running it, but, you know, it is what it is. So I wasn't really sure what to do here. I'm realizing that I need to study up some of my matchups a bit better. But I thought, okay, I can't afford to, like, switch, so I'm just going to tough it up with, like, Deoxys right now and see what I can do. I could have potentially tried to just farm down, but just to be on the safe side, I hit that rock slide. I still have a decent amount of HP, so maybe depending on what comes out next, I'll still be able to hit another rock slide. And I do, so that's nice. Thanks, Deoxys, for being tanky and surviving all those fast moves. That took out about half of Tropius' HP, so that was cool. Here, of course, I have no choice but to bring in Umbreon. Switches out to Toxicroak. This is a dream for me. My Whiscash not only gets to avoid the Tropius, but gets to take down a Toxicroak. Ooh, that did a lot. I was surprised to see him go for the Sledge Bomb for that first move, but I don't know, maybe he knows something I don't about DP against Whiscash. I just know that it's resisted. Here, I was feeling a little nervous just about how much my foul plays are doing versus how much his leaf blades are doing, how quickly he's getting to them. But thankfully, Umbreon is tanky enough, Snarl is fast enough that even though my foul plays aren't really doing too much, they're doing enough and they're coming off pretty quickly. So that's at 5-0. Felt awesome. I went up like 50 points, 40 points, 46 points. That's how much I went up from that set. So that's cool. Making my way up to rank 9. So because that went well, I decided, okay, I will do one more set. I ended up doing 20 games today. I didn't do the last 5, but whatever. This is a pretty clear choice here. Switch the Umbreon. That Thunderbolt did kind of worry me because it took out a decent chunk of HP and those counters are adding up. I know that I've been on the other side of this matchup before when I was using my Deoxys as a switch, and I was always like kind of comfortable. So being on the other side of that, I'm like, okay, how can I come out of this okay? Here, I'm like pretty proud of myself because I was like, there's no way that I lose the one shield. That's got to be fine. And so that's why I didn't shield. Because I could kind of remember how much those rock slides did, and I thought I'd be safe, but it was also just like, logically, even with like whatever energy lead you might have gotten, I thought it was going to be okay. Anyways, I don't know. I'm proud of myself for that. At this point, I'm getting a little worried, actually, just because that Altaria has a lot of health. There's still a Registeel with a lot of health. And my Deoxys and Whiscash can only hold up to so much. This Focus Blast does a lot. Thankfully, not enough to totally take me out. I do a Mud Bomb. And just looking at it, I was like, okay, I'm not going to chance it. I'm going to just do another Mud Bomb. If I was feeling a little bit more spicy, maybe I would have tried to farm. Here, okay. Oh, see, I thought, like, okay, I'm going to go for the Blizzard because I know those Mud Bombs aren't going to actually help me. And I'm just going to hope that my Deoxys had enough health to survive a Sky Attack, and it did, but just barely. So, I think this is the only way I could have played it at the end there. Like, I think I had to try for the Blizzard on the Whiscash. I guess I could have... Wait, let me just stop. Okay, no. I had to just do that. I couldn't switch to the Deoxys earlier. I was switch locked. Okay, cool. Anyways, so this one, Starts with a Skarmory lead, so I'm just hoping that these Thunderbolts can kind of take care of it for me. He switches out to Whiscash. I wasn't sure what to do here, but I was pretty sure that the mirror would be a bad idea, because my Whiscash is probably pretty bad PvP IVs. I can't remember. It's just one I made a long time ago that I'm still using. That maybe could be replaced, but, you know. So I decided the mirror would be a bad time, so I could just go to the Umbreon. But, I don't know, it still feels kind of risky, because I don't have, like, a good dedicated Skarmory counter, like a lantern, so I'm still sort of... And I'm not shielding. I don't know. I think something got into me here. This Whiscash has very little health left, so I'm praying I can farm it down, but he switches out. So I'm trying to be better, but also like noticing when they switch out with very little health, because sometimes that can make a big difference at the end of a game. You know, when you forget, oh, they still actually have something left. Here I was just trying to see how much I could do to the Skarmory. Use Deoxys. I probably would have gotten away with just doing a couple counters, but I didn't want to chance it. Now at this point, I'm feeling pretty great because this is Ampharos, and I have Whiscash. Ampharos does have Focus Blast, and I couldn't remember exactly how much energy these Volt Switches are generating, so I thought, okay, maybe this is going to be bait. It wasn't a bait, it was a Focus Blast. And I don't have much HP anymore. So now it's good that I know how much a Focus Blast does. Thankfully, I do get my Mudshot to kill, and the Whiscash didn't have much HP, but that could have been pretty bad. I think probably, like, if they did one more Volt Switch, it might have been enough. I'm not sure. Anyways, point is, that was scary. It's quite scary. Here, I just switched straight to Umbreon because I wasn't totally sure. I ended up finding out that the Raichu is Grass Knot, so I'm like filing that away as like, okay, I need to make sure that when my Whiscash ends up against that Raichu, I have to have a shield or like a charge move ready already, because I cannot afford to get hit by a Grass Knot. This matchup, I guess I just did in that previous game. This is my best way to deal with Whiscash, I guess. I'm hoping he doesn't shield this, but he does. So I was like, I realized, okay, I need to stop just trying to go for that last charge move when I'm not going to get it. So I just switch out, and then he brings in Skarmory. It's great for me, because I've got those Thunderbolts ready to go. And again, I'm still thinking about how I need to save a shield for the Raichu, because I want to make sure I don't get hit by Grass Knot. He's out of shields. He hit the Sky Attack right away, so I was able to just kind of sacrifice the Umbreon, which is great. Here, I didn't think I'd be able to farm down the Skarmory. It looked like it had just a bit too much health, and so that's why I did go for that first Mud Bomb, knowing that I can get to another one pretty quickly. And it almost totally knocked out the Raichu. And then there's this Whiscash that's almost dead. And so this Mud Bomb will do the trick. So I end up winning with a shield still. So it turns out my paranoia about Grass Knot wasn't really a huge issue, but I don't know. I think it's probably still good. I was thinking that way. So that's something. So this here is game number 9, so the last of my wins out of these 2 sets. Here, this starts off with Deoxys versus Azumarill. Deoxys is like my best Azumarill counter in this lineup, so I'm okay with this. And I shield this thinking it's probably a Hydro Pump, or I guess I play rough. I kind of lost track of the bubbles, I just knew it was a lot of them. Here, I'm going for a Rock Slide to hope I can get a shield, and I do. So that's great. I'm usually, I tend to not beat that much just because I hate when it goes really badly, but here it works out okay, and I even get some extra counters in, so that's fun. Except that Haunter just knocks me out immediately, but I get my Umbreon. Now there's a Vigoroth. Vigoroth is very annoying. I don't like Vigoroth. I mean, maybe I probably would like it if I started using it, but it's annoying to deal with. Those body slams come so quick, counter hits so hard. Here I knew I was kind of in trouble, but I did know that Whiscash needed to have Shield, and Umbreon would probably be safe without. But I think I might have actually been better off, like, realizing I couldn't get to another Mud Bomb. Just, like, counting up how many moves you were each using, right? And then saving the shield for Umbreon, knowing that Umbreon would have to take out Vigoroth. That probably would have been the better idea. The good thing is, the Haunter really wouldn't have been able to do much to me. Even if I had like a Shadow Punch saved up, that's the most it could have realistically done. I would have been fine, but I think I should have done that differently. That's the kind of thing I think I'll only get better at with time and practice and knowing matchups. I'm being a bit better even about paying attention to my HP and theirs and how much their moves are doing, that kind of thing. So this is a game that I lose. I know that Deoxys versus Swampert is a bad time, so I just switched to Umbreon because I think, okay, it's like a good tank. You know, hope he doesn't switch into, or she doesn't, they don't switch into like something that could really ruin Umbreon's life, but they don't. So that means I know they don't have like a Toxicroak or even probably like a Zoomerl or I don't know, something that could be really annoying. This switch was great for me because that's keeping Venusaur away from Whiscash, or at least I know that that's something I'm going to have to think about. Here, wasn't sure if I'd be able to survive this. Turns out I did, but I mean, not really, because I wasn't able to get off another move. Here, okay, here I decide I'm going to just farm down using the Deoxys, and then for some reason, I do another counter instead of just trying to hit a charge move. I should have just tried to hit a charge move. Turns out that's what lost me the game. Because then this Swampert can just go on a rampage, like Swampert loves to do. And there's no way I can... yeah, that's all I needed to do. And like you can see that it does a Mudshot and I do a counter before it hits the Hydro Cannon to kill the Deoxys. So I did have an opportunity to do something. So that's annoying. Maybe the Marowak still would have been able to beat me, but I don't know. Anyways, thanks to DRSP and the Mr. Valor for helping me come up with this lineup. It's fun. Here's where I'm at rating-wise. Don't know if I'll make it to rank 10, but I'm having fun.